How's your timeline different from mine? What's going on over there right now?
Well, let's see. This weekend, I'm planning to review Fast and Furious 125, Resident Evil 200, and Uwe Boll has a new movie coming out.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, but at least in this timeline, Trump was never president.
No shit.
Yeah, when his campaign started, we all just kind of collectively laughed and didn't even entertain the idea.
Wow. I was gonna say, I feel like that's what should have happened here.
Yeah. Oh, and my first feature debuted #1 at the box office.
What?
Later, loser.
No. Figures. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, my timeline kind of sucks when it comes to movies. For a long time after we did that Loki review, it just kind of wasn't the same after that. Really struggled to find myself as a creator. And my movie that debuted #1 at the box office, it did okay for a while, but it just wasn't that good. So that's how I ended up here, and I tried to find my place in all this, but eventually things started getting really nonsensical. I think you winked at the camera at one point. Normie at one point dressed up to turn into Fourth Wall, or it was the opposite, I think. And what's the rules for writing reviews? Like, when you write a review, like, do you create other characters and then those characters narrate the review? Or is it the characters, like, reading the reviews that they wrote? It's all really confusing. Look, I really wanted some answers. So that's why I did what I did, and now everything's all messed up. That's interesting. So let me get this straight. Your solution was to pull out a gun and shoot him? I couldn't help myself, man. I mean, that guy was an idiot. And for the record, if Mom hadn't let him exist in the first place, we wouldn't be in this mess, okay? Now, all the plot holes reading up the multiverse, and whose fault was that? I was in a black void for months because you broke the logic of the multiverse by trying to make yourself the center of it. God, you're worse than Dwayne Johnson. And what the hell is this place? What happened to my room? Mom is deleting everything, complete overhaul. Your room just kind of got caught in the mix. So he forced me to review Spider-Man Lotus like I was some kind of puppet? Look, there's still a way that we can fix this. We just gotta finish it the way we started it. What are we gonna do? I'm stuck here. You're stuck here. Our room doesn't exist anymore, man. Don't you get it? I have a theory. This whole thing started because you wanted to talk about No Way Home, right? But then you ran out of time to review all the movies in order, so you had to review No Way Home early. And then that's when I came in and things got messed up, right? But when you reviewed Far From Home, things got fixed a little bit. I was able to find you, and now we're here. I have a feeling if we review No Way Home next, in its proper spot, and we do it right, it'll fix the channel and stop everything from getting affected. How is reviewing a movie that I've already talked about gonna fix this? The plot holes in the timeline need to be contained, okay? Ending the series is the only way to make sure that the channel doesn't get affected. Look, Mom wants to delete me too. Alright? He thinks that deleting me will fix everything and get the channel up and running again, but we don't know that for sure. But if we finish it, we could get it back to the way it was. You don't want to go back to the abyss. I don't want to stop existing. So, let's finish this our way. Fine. Let's do this. Hey guys, what's up? This is Diego here at Cinemageddon Reviews. This is a bit of a weird time for us. Apparently the only way to fix the multiverse of Diegos is to finish our series of Spider-Man reviews. Again, still not clear on how that's supposed to work. Just go with it, I'm working on it. Whatever. Anyway, today we're finishing this series with a movie that we touched on very briefly about 2 years ago, the third solo Spider-Man film in the MCU. I'm of course talking about Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, where my previous review was spoiler-free, this one will contain heavy spoilers, so if you haven't seen No Way Home and you don't want it to be spoiled for you, this is your chance now to turn this video off before it's too late. Okay, now that we've got that out of the way, let's finish this. Oh shit. Oh god. Oh. Normie, are you okay? Okay, because you had me worried there. I wasn't sure what happened. Oh, I know what happened. What? I just finished making my new website with Wix. Let me show you how I did it. Oh, okay, buddy. This is not a sponsored video. Let's get you sat down. Okay, so after Far From Home, Sony decided to get their greedy little fingers all over Spider-Man once again. Their plan with the Venom solo movies was to eventually create a Sinister Six crossover, and they wanted Tom Holland's Spider-Man to appear in that film. After all, these are all Spider-Man villains, and the eventual goal was to have them team up and fight Spider-Man. This is something that Sony has been attempting ever since Spider-Man 3. So they decided they were going to end their deal with Marvel Studios and retake creative control to make that happen, which, to make it very clear, absolutely nobody wanted except Sony. In fact, I'm pretty sure even people who actually like the Venom solo movies don't want Spider-Man to stop appearing in the MCU, because why would they? He was literally in Endgame, the highest grossing superhero movie of all time, and he is the most beloved and lucrative Marvel character by far. But we all know that unless you're the governor of Florida... excuse me, that's not right. It says here, a complete fucking moron, Disney's legal team can be very persuasive. So sure enough, Sony and Marvel reached a deal for one last solo Spider-Man film so fans could at least bid a proper goodbye to the character. So just to make this crystal clear, there was a lot riding on the success of this movie, and there was basically every reason to expect it not to succeed. In addition to everything I said before, this movie was the third in a trilogy, and it was a sequel that had a lot of villains in it, which given the previous track record with Spider-Man movies, doesn't really bode well from a creative standpoint. So the fact that No Way Home was not just a good movie, but also the best in the Tom Holland trilogy, as well as one of the best MCU films to date, is something that shouldn't be taken lightly. Ow. What happened? And why does my face hurt? You switched places with an influencer and tried to promote a tired website ad, so I knocked you out. Seriously? Do you do that to everybody? Not everybody. What? Nothing. So probably the best part of No Way Home is just how well it handles all of its characters and subplots. This is a very densely packed movie with a lot of storylines and a lot of supporting characters, each with their own motivations and nuances. But the screenplay by Eric Summers and Chris McKenna is surprisingly well put together and unified. One of the biggest flaws I had with Spider-Man 3 was just how crowded it felt. It really struggled juggling a whole bunch of subplots that didn't really tie in with Peter's goal in the film. But in this movie, it's the opposite. From minute one, we are covering the aftermath of Mysterio's last act and seeing how it affects Peter's life. Him and his friends are very much hindered by this controversy surrounding Mysterio, and it's this very thing that serves as Peter's motivation to go and seek Doctor Strange's help. It's a very clever way of transitioning us into the plot of this movie, and it works extremely well. Now, as far as Doctor Strange, the movie uses him as sort of a plot device to keep the story going. He's not in the movie a whole lot, but his presence is actually a lot better than Iron Man's was in Homecoming. He's less of a nagging parental presence and more of just like a friend who was just lending a helping hand and just trying to steer him in the right direction. As far as the villains, No Way Home had the biggest challenge of all, with more villains than we'd ever seen in a live-action Spider-Man film. But it actually makes the smart decision to give all of them essentially the same motivation. They all just want to get back home without sacrificing their powers. And sure, their backstories make them slightly different from each other, but they each have the same goal and motivation, which in turn makes them the most compelling that they've ever been. They each have something to gain or lose if Peter fixes them or not, and their character flaws make them reject his efforts in a way that feels logical. Now, hold on a second. Compelling is a bit of a strong word. These characters already existed. All No Way Home did was just add to them. Excuse me, do you want this review to be finished or not? Because I don't imagine we have a lot of time here. I'm just saying, man, tell the truth. These characters are exactly the same as they were. God, not this again. Look, Spider-Man 2 was good, but No Way Home is just better. Easily the two most developed villains are the Green Goblin and Doc Ock. Alfred Molina and Willem Dafoe give some really great performances, in my opinion better than in Spider-Man 1 and 2, and their characters, even though they're more aligned with this movie's central theme, still feel like the same characters. That's how well written this film is. And just what exactly is this theme that makes it better than Spider-Man 2? Oh shit. Oh god, not again! Hi, Oh, don't worry about that. That was just, I was carving a turkey for the family vlog. Family vlog? Yeah, you know, the family vlog. It's a Thanksgiving episode where I'm taking my family out into the woods and teaching them how to hunt. You're not good at keeping secrets, are you? What secrets? I'm not keeping any secrets. Say absolutely nothing to nobody. Jesus. I was surrounded by a bunch of dead bodies. Okay, I'm gonna try to make sure that doesn't happen again. Keep going. So despite what I've said so far, at the core of No Way Home, you have a very personal story about Peter Parker, and I still think that this is Tom Holland's best work ever as Spider-Man. This is perhaps the most compelling stage of his journey, and what actually impressed me the most is how well it ties everything together to where it feels like all three movies have been leading up to this. And it's both the writing and Tom Holland's acting that make it so memorable. This is a very broken and desperate Peter Parker who in this movie hits an all-time low and learns to get through it by learning what it really means and what it really takes to be Spider-Man. At the beginning of the movie, he's desperately trying to hold on to what's left of his life, but unfortunately all this stuff with Mysterio has already kind of taken its toll. And for Peter, there's no way back for this, but because he cares so much about his friends, he just refuses to let his life be like this. So what else is he gonna do except go to Doctor Strange and ask him to change his world? But even though we understand why he's doing this, we also understand that it's his selfishness and his refusal to sacrifice everything that he loves that ultimately causes the problem in the first place. So really, if you think about it, Peter thinks he's doing the right thing, but he's also clouded by the very understandable fact that he doesn't want to lose what he cares so much about. And it's this same flaw that takes Peter to some really dark places later on, and it makes for the most compelling arc he's ever had. Throughout the movie, he's encouraged by his peers, that being MJ, Ned, and Aunt May, to find all these villains and bring them home, while also making sure that they don't die as soon as they get back. And they also serve as an emotional anchor for Peter. Halfway through the movie, he takes the conscious risk of defying Doctor Strange and fixing all these villains against his wishes, because he knows that if there's even the smallest chance that he can save these guys' lives, he's gonna take it. And it feels so much like a Spider-Man thing. He's choosing the selfless path, even if it comes at great personal cost. Which makes it all the more heart-wrenching when it goes wrong in the worst way possible.
You tried to fix me. Miko. Now, I'm gonna fix you. Hey, run, please.
When Aunt May died, it absolutely emotionally wrecked me. It just felt like the ultimate gut punch. Immediately, Peter feels like he was wrong for doing the right thing. And you're right there with him. You feel both his sorrow and his anger. You feel as though it wasn't worth it. And it hurts to watch Peter's life crumble to its absolute lowest point. And Tom Holland carried it so well with his acting. He's so brutally intense with this on an emotional and even physical level. There are moments in this movie where he's actually frightening to watch. You see where he's at mentally, and you see how his character flaw begins to just take him over. He just doesn't care anymore. This is a level of writing we've never seen before in a Spider-Man movie, and yet despite being so dark, it still never takes away from the core of the story. And what I appreciated the most about this in terms of the writing is that this is the MCU's equivalent of Uncle Ben's death, which makes Spider-Man's entire story up until this point feel that much more unified. So the rest of the story is really just about Spider-Man becoming Spider-Man to the fullest extent. It's actually brilliant. Spider-Man 2 is still better. Can you please shut up? I'm saving the multiverse here. I'm just saying, why didn't Doctor Strange voucher him at MIT when he didn't get in? Why didn't any of the other Avengers step up for him? I mean, shut up. There's gotta be some video footage out there of that big battle in Endgame that proves he was one of the good guys. I mean, you don't gotta worry about that in Spider-Man 2. Oh my god, are you serious? No wonder Mom wants to delete you. You are insufferable and you ruin everything. All right, look, he pissed me off, but he is right about some things. For one, the story for what it's taking on is still handled extremely well. Once the story actually gets going, it's pretty much smooth sailing from there. The villains have the advantage of having already appeared in other films, and Electro and the Lizard were never really that compelling to begin with, so that makes it a lot easier for the writers to put them in and not have to answer too many questions. It even complements some of the humor in the character interactions.
How'd you end up like that anyway?
No. The place where I worked at, their experiment with electricity created by living organisms, and then I fell into a vat of electric eels.
You're kidding. I fell into a super collider.
Damn. Gotta be careful where you fall.
I will say from a purely cosmetic standpoint, they improved a lot on the villains in a big way. The Green Goblin's new look is really cool and a lot closer to what it was in the comics without looking too goofy. And Jamie Foxx's Electro looks a lot better in this film than The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I hated his old look. And look, the Lizard was sidelined for a majority of No Way Home, and I can't say that I blame the writers for this one. His character is easily the most hollow one in the bunch, and they essentially reduced his motivation into a joke, which, can you blame them?
Did you get a makeover? You know I can give you a real makeover.
Let me guess. Into a lizard?
Exactly.
Could you two just shut up?
And so because of that, the story has a lot more time to focus on Peter accomplishing his goal of finding all these villains, trapping them, and bringing them home. Tom Holland, Zendaya, and Jacob Batalon are still very much the heart and soul of the film, and the story serves them very well too, especially Ned Leeds, who gets teased a lot as his supervillain alter ego, the Hobgoblin. Everything from his magic abilities to holding that crossbow in that one scene to even Doctor Strange's cape rescuing him near the end of the movie. Hopefully we get to see him in the future, because whether he turns into a complete dick or not, he's still a great character, and I'd love to see where they take him next. Fine. I'll bring him back. What the hell? Did you just delete me?
Look,
I was back in the abyss again. You deleted me.
I went too far.
Yeah, no shit. What the hell is your problem, man?
I'm trying to say I'm sorry. Okay, look, we still have to...
No, man, forget about it. I can't trust you. I'll find some other way.
Please, look, It's true. I do make everything about me. I put myself before others because they always put themselves before me. I'm tired of being a plot device, that's all.
Fine. I guess I'm sorry too. About everything.
Okay, Jesus!
Don't ever delete me again. Alright, so let's move away from all this dark and serious stuff and get into some fan service, because as you know, No Way Home is chock full of it. No Way Home got a lot of really loud fan reactions. I remember when I saw it in theaters the first time, obviously I was happy about it, but one of the best things about going to see it in theaters is that it elevated the experience so much when you see it with a crowd. Obviously you got your big moments, everybody was excited when they saw Doc Ock and Green Goblin again, younger and older fans loved seeing them again. The battle on the bridge with Spider-Man in his spider armor and Doc Ock is fabulous, one of my favorite action scenes in the whole thing. It's interesting to see how the characters use their strengths against each other. Spider-Man evens the odds with his nanotech in some really clever ways. It's like they knew exactly what we wanted to see. The fight against Doctor Strange in the mirror dimension was also a lot of fun to see. I think this was actually my favorite one in the film because of how creative it was. Whenever Doctor Strange fights other super people, it's obviously gonna be a lot of fun, but it's nice to see a fight where Spider-Man actually beats someone who's more powerful than him in a way that makes sense. I also appreciate that they incorporated the wavy lines from Spider-Man's Spider Sense in the comics. It just satisfies my comic book fan OCD. Can you believe that some people out there hate this interpretation of Spider-Man?
Hey, Strange! You know what's cooler than magic? Math!
You've also got some smaller moments like Eddie Brock and Venom in the mid-credits scene. He shows up at a bar questioning Danny Rojas from Ted Lasso about all the superheroes in the MCU and then just vanishes, leaving behind a single drop of the symbiote, which is by far the most meaningful thing these Venom solo movies have ever given us and ever will. We now have Venom in the MCU. Thank you, that's all we needed. You can go now. One moment I was particularly happy to see was the appearance of Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil. Now, Daredevil was my favorite Netflix show, and I'm glad Kevin Feige listened to the fans who wanted Daredevil back. And from the way it sounded, so were a lot of other people.
How did you just do that?
I'm a really good lawyer.
He's where he belongs now. That devil-suited slut. Yeah. Oh shit, no.
Well, whatever's going on, I don't think we're at the prehistoric petting zoo anymore.
Oh shit. typed that wrong.
But I bet if we put our minds to it and try our hardest, we can figure this out, right, Molly?
Who the hell is Molly?
That's right, Diego. If you put your mind to it, you can solve any problem.
Who are you?
I'm Molly the Mammoth, Diego's faithful companion.
This is getting out of hand. The multiverse has got to be getting worse.
Say, friend, is your favorite color black?
It must be, if he's dressed in it from head to toe.
You mind not getting so close? I'm trying to get you home, okay?
You must be great at nighttime hide and seek.
Okay, seriously, you're getting really close and you smell bad, okay?
What's
Would
this
you mind?
made of anyway?
Okay, get off. Seriously, get off! Oh my god. Holy shit. The heck can fucking talk?
Diego, I'm so cold.
Oh, the smell. Oh god.
Molly, no.
Oh god.
Molly.
Oh god.
You monster. You inhuman atrocity.
Are you okay, man? You look spooked.
You don't want to know, man.
Okay. So far, we've talked partially about how well No Way Home uses nostalgia and fan service in a way that's not artificial and actually makes it a meaningful and necessary part of the story. We've talked about the villains from older Spider-Man movies coming back, but we obviously can't go any further in this room without talking about what is easily the worst kept secret in MCU history. While the movie was being made, it was revealed that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire were in this movie, each playing their versions of Spider-Man. Now, before we saw No Way Home, it was perfectly reasonable to assume that these cameos were going to be overhyped and underwhelming. You'd expect Andrew Garfield to swing in, say one quick thing, and then disappear. You want to know what movie did do that, though?
Who the fuck is this?
Where The Flash used nostalgia as a crutch to mask the glaring flaws that the story had, No Way Home actually justifies it by not changing the core of who these characters are. The cameos in No Way Home were smart enough to not treat these characters as though they were just side effects of the changing multiverse. Instead, they left the characters as they were and explained that their original timelines still exist. They also didn't cram a whole bunch of useless cameos in it just for the sake of luring in more people through word of mouth. The plot in No Way Home actually gave these surprise appearances meaning. Matt Murdock appears in the film because he's a lawyer by day. He's not there as Daredevil because they didn't need him as Daredevil, so they didn't use him as Daredevil. Andrew and Tobey's roles in the film are actually pretty substantial. They have multiple scenes with Tom Holland, and they play a huge part in the story and how it's resolved, as well as the resolution of Tom Holland's arc. And sure, there are a lot of situations that can be misconstrued as cheap fan service, and you could easily confuse it for just filler, like the scenes, for example, where it's just the three Spider-Men talking.
So you, make your own web fluid in your body?
I'd rather not talk about this.
No, I don't mean to...
Are you teasing me?
No. He's not teasing you. It's just that we can't do that. So naturally, we're curious as to how your web situation works. That's all.
But if it's personal, I don't want to, pry, but I just think it's cool.
I wish I could tell you, but it's like I don't do it. I don't do breathing. Breathing just happens.
Whoa.
Does it just come out of your wrists, or does it come out of anywhere else?
Only the wrists.
But even then, those don't really take away from the story because it's not really filler. You're developing all their characters and the relationship they have with each other, which actually serves the story in an important way. They handle these guys way better than I expected. The Flash ain't got shit on them. Whoa there. If I didn't know any better, I'd say you're starting to see why I like No Way Home so much. You might be right about a few things. Would you care to? You know I can't say no to that. Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire probably knew better than anyone just how special it was going to be when they made their appearance in the MCU. They both loved playing Spider-Man in their respective films, and you can see that in their performances because they were giving them their absolute best. Tobey did a much better job than he ever did in the Raimi trilogy, and Andrew Garfield, you can tell, is just bursting with energy. It's not lost on me that the entire time he was in No Way Home, he never took off his suit. He loves playing Spider-Man, and he was having so much fun with it.
Let's do this. Ready? Wait. I love you guys. Thank you.
That moment was improvised. He didn't have to do that, but he wanted to. And he meant it. The most surprising thing about Andrew and Tobey in this movie was that they each also had compelling arcs in the film tied to what had come before in their previous films. Tobey sort of took on the seasoned mentor role for Tom and teaches him that sometimes getting what you want won't make the pain go away, and sometimes even makes it worse. Andrew illustrates to Tom the cost of giving up after losing what you love the most. After Gwen died in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, he stopped caring about people as much as he used to, and it cost him a part of himself. Spider-Man Lotus can suck it. Amen to that, which is why the third act just hits so different and why there are so many compelling moments in it. When Andrew saves MJ, it's not just Andrew redeeming himself and getting closure, it's us getting that third chapter in the Amazing Spider-Man films that we never got. We go home knowing that Andrew did move on from Gwen's death in a way that mattered. When Tobey stops Tom from killing the Green Goblin, he's not just saving Norman in his mind or stopping himself from killing his uncle's killer. He's taking Harry's place in Spider-Man 3. He's redeeming himself for what he lost and saving something that he cares about. So, I guess No Way Home is the better film. Told you. Yeah. Now let's give the summary and finish this. Just wait. What? Are we sure we finished talking about this? There's gotta be something else. No, that's it. No, there's gotta be. We can talk about Michael Giacchino's score, and that's pretty cool. Or, hey, the VFX and how good they looked. I'm pretty sure we're not done talking about this. Just bear with me, I'll find something. It was you, wasn't it? What? Mom could have stopped this review anytime he wanted. He could have deleted us and started over from the beginning, knowing what's at stake, but he didn't. No, man, I don't know what you're doing this. You're making this series take longer than it has to. Every time a new installment pops up, every time I get replaced by someone else, that wasn't the multiverse doing it. That was you. Normie, come on, that's not true. Because once this series ends, you won't exist anymore. So you gotta stall as much as you can and replace me with someone else just to keep yourself alive a little longer. I don't want to go. Please. You really haven't learned anything yet, have you? You really don't understand what's going on here, right? Do you know why I like No Way Home more than the Spider-Verse movies, more than Spider-Man 2? Do you know why I gave it a 10 out of 10 despite the flaws that it has? Why? It's because this is the movie where I finally feel like I fully understood Spider-Man. And maybe, for the first time myself, I originally didn't understand why Peter just chose not to tell MJ who he was after the multiverse was fixed. But I think maybe I wasn't ready yet. Spider-Man No Way Home is a movie that reminds me of why I love Spider-Man, why I love superheroes, and why I love movies. It's not because I think it's the greatest movie ever made, and certainly not because I think it transcends all other Marvel movies that came before it, or all other movies before or after it. Do you want to know what the central theme is? Why I love this movie so much? It's about growing up. It's about learning that the choices you make affect everything. The things you care about, the people you love, even how you view yourself. And it also teaches us that letting go sometimes hurts less than holding on. You're right. Of course you are. You always are. No. Not always. I thought I'd feel good by now. So this is it, huh? The end of the series? Yeah, I guess so. Well, I can't say I didn't try, right? I mean, what a way to go, right? Maybe you're leaving, but not forever. I mean, Beyond the Spider-Verse hasn't come out yet. It's not going to come out for a while. And it's not like they're going to stop making Spider-Man movies, right? Yeah, but the series is finished now. Yeah. But that doesn't mean you are. What are you doing? Well, you are a plot device for my anger, aren't you? So why don't we put you somewhere where you can use that to your fullest extent? Best worst movie reviews. How about that? Oh, come on. Really? Bad movies? That's right. And there'll be plenty of movies to roast, trust me. And that way you won't cease to exist. You'll have a purpose. Normie, come on. I mean, is this even gonna work? It'll work. I'm positive. Okay, that'll do it. Wait. If you do this, if you don't let me die, you're never going back to your old room. Is that really what you want? I think it has to be. I don't know what to say. Just know that this means you're going to be gone for a while. Yeah. Can I at least take a moment to myself? Sure. There's actually one last thing I got to talk about. So, at last we come to the end of my Spider-Man series. Now, No Way Home is my favorite Spider-Man movie for all the reasons we just talked about, but there's one last thing we can appreciate about it. Now, granted, this is just a theory, but from a business perspective, maybe this will help you appreciate No Way Home just a little bit more. We all know that Spider-Man is Sony's biggest cash cow. We all know that nobody was on board with pulling Spider-Man out of the MCU. Fans hated the idea, Marvel Studios hated the idea. It was purely a hollow business move by Sony to piggyback off the success of Tom Holland playing this character to make more money. And we all know that because No Way Home did so well financially, that those plans were eventually scrapped, and now we're getting Spider-Man 4. Kevin Feige confirmed it, and he confirmed that Tom Holland was coming back as Spider-Man. There's even rumors that Zendaya is going to be coming back as MJ, but here's where the really interesting part is. Marvel Studios never had any intention of letting Spider-Man go back to Sony, and they knew exactly what they were doing when they bet the entire future of the MCU Spider-Man on No Way Home. This may be just me being a skeptic here, but I can't escape the feeling that Kevin Feige knew exactly which strings to pull, exactly what kind of story to tell, and exactly what kind of surprises to include to basically guarantee that Sony would change their mind about pulling their rights to Spider-Man. Now, I'm going to show you a few clips of No Way Home that kind of support my theory to just kind of get your mind going and help you connect a few dots here and there. The first one, and probably the biggest one, is this.
Yeah.
You got a nice face, you're just a kid. You from Queens. You got that suit. You help a lot of poor people. I just thought you was gonna be black.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
I don't apologize. There's gotta be a black Spider-Man somewhere out there.
Before the writer's strike, Amy Pascal confirmed that development is underway for a live-action Miles Morales movie. Miles Morales' existence in the MCU was confirmed by none other than the guy who inspired the character's creation.
I don't want those weapons in this neighborhood. I got a nephew who live here.
Furthermore, the Prowler is confirmed as being canon in the MCU. Now, whether or not his cameo in Across the Spider-Verse is going to play a part in the MCU is unknown, because he is a little bit far away from Earth 1999-99. And also remember that Loki and the TVA are still very much a thing, so that is a pretty big development. But it still remains to be seen whether that's going to be important or not. Now, the next clip I want to show you is this.
All we have to do is figure out how we're gonna get there.
Oh, we could portal there.
What?
I'm magic now.
Yeah, no, he's right. Yeah, he can.
Yeah, we saw.
Yeah, he is.
Wait, really?
Dude, I got Doctor Strange magic. Yeah. And I promise you, I won't turn into a supervillain and try to kill you.
Okay.
Jacob Batalon has stated in various interviews that he doesn't know whether he'll be involved in the next Spider-Man movie, but my question is, why would they spend so much time teasing the Hobgoblin, making it such a pivotal part of the story and of Jacob Batalon's arc in the film, just to not do anything else with him in the future? I mean, they even brought back Tim Roth as the Abomination for the She-Hulk show, so you're really going to tell me Ned Leeds' story is just done? Next clip, and this is from Homecoming, too.
You know who he is?
If I knew who he was, he'd already be dead.
Now, we can all pretend that Morbius just didn't happen because his entire appearance in the film is nonsensical, but the Vulture and the Scorpion are still out there. And there's rumors circulating that Michael Mando is going to reprise his role as Mac Gargan for the upcoming Spider-Man film. So I guess we'll see about that. That is so like Disney. If only they weren't so ultra-capitalist. It's just something that we can look forward to seeing now that it turns out that Spider-Man's going to be staying a little longer. We all want to see more, and I think I can speak for all of us when I say I can't wait to see more Spider-Man in the future. Until then, thank you guys so much for watching my Spider-Man series. It was really fun and a very chaotic ride. Parts of it were very scary, but I'm glad we managed to get through it together, and it's all thanks to you guys. You guys are the best. Here's to more Spider-Man reviews in the future. As always, be sure to like this video and subscribe, follow us on all our social medias, and please support our Patreon so you can get the chance to request a movie or show you'd like to see us talk about next. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Diego for Cinemageddon Reviews, and I'll see you on the Wasteland. You know, my head hurt a lot, but I wouldn't have changed a thing. You ready? Yeah. What if I never see you again? You remember the first thing you said to me? Power of creative writing? Yeah. This was Mom's plan all along, wasn't it? To get us to get along? Maybe. Or maybe it was something meta. You know? This place ain't so bad. But it's still kinda cramped. We did it. I can't believe it. We actually did it.
Well, as a great man once said, Excelsior.